The feds believe that New York City Mayor Eric Adams lied about his personal cell phone during the Manhattan Street raid. The DOJ released a trove of documents on the same day the mayor sat down with Trump. Tyrone Bowman, live. Let's get this conversation started according to an article written in Politico. Federal agents suspected Mayor Eric Adams of misleading them about the location of his personal phone. They compiled evidence against Adams' administration, discussed favorable school placement for the child of a Turkish diplomat. They continued probing him after President Donald Trump took office. Those were among the findings in the more than 1,700 pages of documents about Adams' criminal case that Trump's Department of Justice released Friday night. They shed light on the FBI's raids on Adams, his staffers, and others in his orbit in relation to the bribery case involving Turkish interests that resulted in an indictment of the mayor last September. Adams pleaded not guilty, and a judge dismissed the case last month at the behest of the Department of Justice. The document dump encompassed dozens of search warrant applications and other materials, revealing a far bigger investigation than the public had previously known. The search warrants focused on purported straw donations to the mayor's 2021 and 2025 campaigns, travel perks involving the Turkish government, and the alleged official action Adams provided in return. Several court papers concerned the whereabouts of the mayor's personal cell phone, which agents tried to seize in a dramatic confrontation with Adams. A former police captain on November 6, 2023, federal gumshoes approached the mayor as he left an event at New York University in Manhattan and tries to seize his devices, but Adams did not have his personal phone on him and provided conflicting explanations of where it was. He said he left it at City Hall, but location data showed otherwise. The mayor's team then told federal agents a mayoral aide had taken the phone. In an effort to find out what actually happened, the agents sought cell phone location data from devices used by Adams and several of his aides. Quote, the Adams' personal cell phone traveled from the vicinity of City Hall northbound, passing the vicinity of Washington Square Park, and then moving north in a manner consistent with driving northbound on 6th Avenue, end quote, a federal agent wrote. At one point, federal investigators were so unsure of how many cell phones Adams used that they sought a warrant to a Cite simulator, commonly known as a Stingray, to determine which phones he was carrying. Quote, I know of at least 6 different cell numbers that Adams had used during the time period relevant to this investigation, end quote, an agent wrote in the September 2024 search warrant affidavit. A later warrant raised that to 7. A federal judge ordered the release of the trove of search warrant data following a request from its media organizations. DOJ blew its first deadline to unveil the materials last week. The massive document release comes at a politically perilous time for Adams, who is running a long-shot independent bid. Now listen, who is running a long-shot independent bid for re-election. If he is the democratically elected mayor, why is Adams running as an independent? Why did he switch his political affiliation from being a Democrat to an independent candidate? I've told you all time and time again that Adams is corrupt. Adams is a liar. Adams is deceitful and manipulative, and people keep forgetting before he became the mayor, he was a cop for over 30 years. And the reason why he switched his political affiliation, because he is going to double-cross the constituents in New York City if he wins re-election. You think I'm joking? I know what I'm talking about. He is going to become a part of the GOP, the MAGA movement. He's going to become a part of the Republican Party. That's why Adams switched his political affiliation and is now running as an independent candidate instead of a Democrat. Open your eyes, people. Don't be deceived. Don't be cajoled. Don't be manipulated. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. And why is this report being released now after the fact that the charges against Adams were already dropped? This makes no sense. Why is this information being revealed now? Why now? Because there's something more sinister going on here. Don't be concerned about all the things that the puppeteers are doing. Don't be concerned about all these different executive orders. There's nothing you and I can do about them. Pay attention to what's going on before you. Now, let me get back to this article. So the massive document release comes at a politically perilous time for Adams, who is running a long-shot independent bid for re-election. Hours before DOJ made the information public, Adams was confabbing with Trump in the White House, underscoring his burgeoning relationship with the president. It was their first sit-down since Trump took office, and it provided more fodder for Democrats looking to unseat Adams. Quote, Eric Adams has made it clear that he cares more about staying on Donald Trump's good side than fighting for New York City, end quote, State Senator Zelnor Myrie, who was running for mayor, said in a statement that referenced the dismissal of Adams' federal bribery case. Quote, Adams already gave up his independence as mayor to save himself from criminal prosecution. Now Trump and his cronies are coming to collect, and New York City will keep paying the price, end quote. The mayor's campaign earlier Friday shot back at Murray, saying his past support for criminal justice reform disqualified him from running the city. The documents show the feds also found evidence either Adams or those close to him received a request to help the Turkish consul general get his son into a selective New York City public school. It is unclear who communicated about the request, but federal agents refer at one point to Adams' longtime partner, Tracy Collins, who at the time was a high-ranking official at the City Department of Education. The documents show a judge signed off on a search warrant for Collins' home in Fort Lee, New Jersey in May 2024. Collins' involvement in the criminal investigation had not been previously reported. The search warrant dump also showed federal agents were continuing to seek new evidence in the case even after Trump's inauguration, which the mayor raced down to Washington to attend despite the new president's apparent disinterest in continuing the case. And in another finding, investigators noted a longtime friend of Adams had kept in touch with the mayor since he took office, even texting to ask he be named a deputy mayor. That friend, Dwayne Montgomery, served with Adams in the NYPD and pleaded guilty last year to orchestrating a straw donor scheme to Adams' 2021 campaign. The dominoes are falling, the scapegoats have to take the fall. Federal agents raided Montgomery's home on January 23, 3 days after Trump took office, seeking more of his communications with the mayor. That search has not been previously reported. Adams' attorney, Alex Spiro, dismissed the revelations as inconsequential. Quote, this case, the first of its kind airline upgrade corruption case, should never have been brought in the first place and is now over, end quote, he said in a statement referring to Manhattan's prosecutors alleging that Adams was bribed with straw donations and Turkish airline perks in exchange for official favors. Adams' campaign spokesperson said the material further proved Adams had did nothing wrong. The truth is now well known. The mayor is innocent of any wrongdoing, and a handful of campaign volunteers attempted to take advantage of his trust. Quote, close quote. This is the lie that they're going to continue to tell. And this is the lie that they're going to continue to spread. The revelations in the defunct case came shortly after Adams and Trump concluded their meeting with dramatically different takeaways. There's going to be I'll be right back. I got to take a quick break. I'll be right back. I want to continue this article. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I had to take a quick break. You're watching Tyrone Bowman live. I'm talking about Mayor Eric Adams and the how the feds believe that he lied about his Manhattan telephone as to where it was. And this is an interesting conversation to have because they call it the Friday dump. What politicians, administrations do when they want to release something and they think no one's paying attention to it, they release it late on a Friday evening. That's why they call it a dump. Devil's Advocate says slight intermission. Be back. I like that with the popcorn. All right, let me finish talking about this article. If you haven't subscribed to Tyrone Bowman Live, kindly consider by subscribing to the channel. Thank you. So now listen to this. I'm going to pick it up from here. During today's discussion with President Trump regarding issues of importance to New York City, Mayor Adams took a moment to thank the president for his words of support while the president was on the campaign trail. Shapiro said in the statement, at a time when Mayor Adams was being unfairly and selectively targeted by federal authorities, then candidate Trump publicly acknowledged the injustice and stood in defense of fundamental fairness and due process. Quote, close quote. The dismissal of the mayor's case has continued to haunt Adams. Well, why would the dismissal of a case continue to haunt him if you're innocent? That's what I don't understand about. The former intern U.S. attorney for the Southern District in New York, Danielle Sassoon, called the deal between Adams and the DOJ a quid pro quo that exchanged the mayor's freedom for cooperation on federal immigration enforcement, a notion the mayor has denied. That didn't stop British broadcasters Piers Morgan from peppering the mayor with questions about the dismissal and Adams's soft touch with the president during a tense 30-minute interview Thursday night. During the spot, Adams avoided any criticism of the president's terrorist regime, even as invincible budget wonks have warned it could create turmoil for city revenue, and defended his own posture toward the White House. In recognition of Trump's unpopularity with New York City's deep blue electorate, Morgan repeatedly asked Adams why he didn't switch parties to become a Republican, a notion that rankled the registered Democrat who was running for re-election as an independent in November. I'll answer the question, because he's waiting until the election is over. That's why. Adams is a liar. Just because somebody's black doesn't mean I'm going to believe them. Because somebody's black doesn't mean I'm going to be on their side. Doesn't mean that I'm going to support them. Doesn't mean I'm going to go along with everything that they say and do, because black people are corrupt as well. Black people lie. Black people cheat, steal, commit all kinds of crimes like everyone else does. They're inexcusable. On this program, I'll just deal with the conversations and the issues at hand the way they should be dealt with. Coming up next, I'm going to talk about the 5 black police officers who were found not guilty by an all-white jury in a different town after murdering Tyree Nichols. It's clearly evident from the video footage that they committed outright murder. And just because they're black doesn't mean they're going to be spared. Where is the outrage and the cry against these 5 black police officers the same way it would be if it was 5 white police officers who murdered a black young man? These black cops do not get a pass because they're black. Tyrone Bowman, never surrender, never quit.